It is with great pleasure that we welcome to the stage Roundup River Ranch camper Finn Mott.
My story starts at the end of my 8th grade school year. I was just a 13-year-old boy who cared way too much about what other people thought. I was constantly trying to be somebody else because I was afraid to show people the real me. I thought I had to be perfect. I had to be the best to get love and affection from my friends and family. I needed to be the best soccer player, the best student, and the best runner. One day, in my 8th grade math class, my teacher, Miss Marsh, played us a video about a boy who had a terminal cancer and only had a few months to live. I remember distinctly repeating to myself, "This could not be me. It is impossible. It just can't happen." I was too perfect to be broken. I was too important. As I mumbled these words, I felt an odd feeling in my stomach, a funny feeling. I tried to ignore it the best I could, but there was no denying the sign. A few months later, I began getting headaches that wouldn't recede. The front of my head pounded as we saw doctor after doctor. Everything was soon put on hold. I could not play soccer. I could not go to school. I could not run. My perfect life was shattered, and there was nothing I could do to fix it. 7 doctors later, and many failed diagnoses, I was ordered an MRI. I laid there in the perfectly symmetrical tube, worrying about what my hair would look like after and what I would do to fix it. That was soon the least of my concerns. That night was the first night of spring break. I was packing for Lake Powell when my mom got a phone call. She answered. "Hello. Hello, is this Rowan's mom?" "Yes. I have Rowan's MRI results, and I'm afraid I have some bad news." I watched as my mother's face grew more and more concerned. We drove to Children's Hospital that night, checked in, and were shown to our home for the next 14 days. Little did I know that this small, sanitizer-smelling room would hold the hardest times of my life. I was diagnosed with brain and spinal cancer and forced to go through 4 chemotherapy sessions and 24 radiation grays. My life was changed with one phone call. I was no longer free. I was no longer a boy. I was locked into a prison of cancer. My identity left me for a bald kid, and my hope disintegrated. Each morning, I would open my eyes and feel the papery sheets and recognize where I am and just cry. I would cry until I could not cry anymore. I prayed for this to be a nightmare, but it wasn't. This was real. This was happening to me, and I was chosen. I went to Roundup River Ranch between my 3rd and 4th chemotherapy sessions. I was depressed and saw no point in living. I wanted to give up and just die already. From the second I pulled into Roundup, I was greeted with nothing but smiles. People looked at me not as a bald kid, but as a normal boy. The other campers did not have to say anything to show their compassion and understanding. They smiled at me and welcomed me into their lives on a deeper level than any of my other friends. One of the first things somebody said to me was, "You're new here. We'll prepare to have a ton of fun." I was fascinated at how everybody was so happy, even when their daily lives were filled with terror. How could they see the light in the dark? How are they still dancing in the rain? I found my answer soon enough: camp. As camp progressed, my smile returned. My hope was rekindled. The love I felt was beyond anything I have ever felt before. I was given the chance to forget the needles, the nurses, and the doctors. I could live in the moment and not have to worry. I was given the opportunity to be a kid and have fun. One of my favorite memories from camp is when my cabin successfully managed to win the dirt-free donkey every day. Those of you that don't know what this means, well, let me tell you, the dirt-free donkey is the highest award any cabin can receive at camp. Every day, 6 cabins compete to see who has the cleanest cabin, and the winner gets the donkey. Let me explain how I did it, or how my cabin did it. The first day, We cleaned like nobody has ever cleaned before. Our cabin was spotless, and we took the award. The second day, we realized we needed to up our game. So, we wrote a kind note to the judges and helped the younger cabins clean. The third day, we realized we needed to elevate our efforts again, so we made an I love you, the dirt-free donkey sign out of rocks in the front yard. And finally, the last day. Throughout the week, we brought the donkey and took pictures with it in whatever we were doing. We printed these pictures out and hung them up in our cabin for the judges to see. It's safe to say we won. The best part of this was not the clean streak, but instead the bonds I formed with my cabin mates through the process. None of us would forget the incredible week we have had. For the last 3 years, I have attended camp, and my life has changed. I have been shown over and over why life is worth fighting for and the power of love. This is the Grateful Harvest, and I'm here to tell you that I would not be standing here, speaking to you all, breathing, if it weren't for camp. I am thankful I have had the chance to go to camp and sincerely grateful to everyone who is involved in this magical place, because you have saved mine and hundreds of others' lives. I am now too old to return to camp, but plan to be a volunteer and a counselor, to hopefully have... Thank you. To hopefully have the same impact my counselors have had on me. Thank you all for being here, supporting this amazing, extraordinary, special place that creates a light in the dark for so many. Roundup River Ranch will always have a special place in my heart and will forever be the reason I am who I am. At my last camp session about 3 weeks ago, I wrote and read a poem for stage night, and I'd like to read it for you all. We are here because, let's say, we have not had the best hand dealt. But through this camp, we have found a way to deal with what was being felt, in our struggles, in our pain, in our fight. We still stand here, together, forever in bond. Escaping from the daily nightmares that never seem to fade, we climb the new heights, take a scary flight. We build team chemistry knowing it is a life necessity. We ride horses in an effort to take new courses. We shoot arrows at targets, the bullseye causing bets. We paddle in boats, just trying to stay afloat. We cast lines, hoping to catch the perfect match. We play games, not trying to be a fame. We talk at candlelight, listening, not needing sight. We love one another, through doubt, through adversity. You see, all of the things we do here at RRR are life lessons. Camp has been the best session of my life, and I will say thank you forever. Thank you.
Thank you.